How to choose the right social media platform for your business in 2021. Before you choose a social media channel, the first question you need to ask yourself is, what are your actual goals? What are you trying to achieve through social media? There are different objectives that you can pursue. For example, you can opt for reach and visibility that will increase brand awareness and make people recognize your brand more. You can also opt for traffic, so to optimize social media channels to generate traffic to your website, or you can go for conversions, for example, so that you are actually optimizing your social media to make sales, generate newsletter, generate leads. There is a long list of different objectives that you can actually pursue for your social media. And before you choose any social media platform, you need to be well aware of what the platform can do for you and what your goals are that you want to achieve on this social media platform. Once you have a concrete idea of what you want to achieve on social media, you need to have a look at your audience. First of all, you need to understand who your audience is, how old they are, the demographics, their interests, etc., and which social media they are using, because you need to choose the social media channels where your audience is active. To give you a very simple example, if you are trying to target a 17 or 18-year-old, you would rather find them on TikTok than you would find them on Facebook. So if you are trying to make a communication strategy to reach 18-year-olds on Facebook, you will have a very hard time because you're simply on the wrong channel for this audience. Pretty much every audience that you can define for yourself will have certain affinities for one channel over the other. So the first thing you need to find out is who is your audience and which social media are they using. If you are uncertain about which channels could work for you and which channels to use and where to actually find your audience, I have a very easy tip for you. Just check out what your competitors are doing. Depending on your niche or on your domain, you can actually have a look at bigger competitors. They already did the research for themselves, so instead of doing this entire research on your own, getting inspired what other companies in your sector are doing and what is working for them might save you a lot of time and give you very easy and fast hints towards where you should be looking. So for example, if you see that your competitors are on YouTube and on Instagram and their YouTube videos get much more engagement and comments than the Instagram ones, that might be because their audience is simply more active on YouTube, and as a consequence, this should tell you that maybe you should prioritize YouTube over Instagram. Now, the most important part, if you want to be successful on social media, is that you ask yourself how you can create value for these people. So how can you create value for your audience and how can you deliver it in a format that is accessible for your audience? The first thing you need before you even think about social media is content. So you are going to need content that generates or creates value for your audience, and only use social media to distribute this content. This is the strategy. Now you need to find out what kind of content can you create. So this can be video posts, carousel posts, image posts, stories. You have a ton of different formats and a ton of different platforms. So make sure you find out where your audience is and how you can process the content to meet people's expectations on social media. After you assess all of these things, you need to ask yourself, what kind of content are you comfortable with producing? I'll give you a very simple example. If you feel that you're terrible in front of a camera and you don't want to speak in front of a camera, making videos is probably not going to work for you. You can still opt for videos where you don't see anybody with a simple voiceover and animation text, but that will probably not be as effective as if you showed your face. However, if the provided value is of high quality, people will often be more forgiving if your content is not perfect. Apart from actually writing all of your blog posts yourself and making your videos yourself, you can actually use online freelancers from all over the world to maybe help you come up with blog posts or create image content for you. So if you find yourself in a position where you don't really have time to do it by yourself, that is not necessarily a deal breaker. There are ways to find relatively cheap workforce with great quality output on platforms like Fiverr or Upwork, for example. Last point is you need to be realistic about your capacities and how many channels you can actually manage. There is no point in trying to do all the channels at the same time and put the same content on all of the channels. It is very important that you're not trying to be on all the channels at once. In order to really create value and create content that people love on different social media platforms, you will need to put a lot of thought and consideration and planning into this content production. This also means that you cannot be on all social media at the same time. There are strategies where you can create one big pillar of content, for example, a long YouTube video, and cut snippets out of it to post on social media like Instagram stories, for example. But cutting such a videos and preparing appealing, well-designed stories and all of this, most of the time takes longer than you expect. So it's way better to focus yourself on maybe just 2 or 3 social media platforms and really produce the content that the audience expects, instead of trying to be everywhere and losing a lot of traction in the middle. Because as long as you have 2 or 3 social media platforms that help you reach your business goals, there is no need to be on all of them. So start with 2 or 3, and once you feel like you have matured and you have the right systems in place to manage this, and you actually have the capacity to manage more, then you can move to new social media platforms and repeat the process there. One way or another, I really advise you to get comfortable and familiar with video content. It can be very strange to be in front of the camera the first time, but like any skills, you learn it by doing it. So platforms like TikTok, for example, or Instagram Reels allow you to create very short videos. These kinds of content are currently pushed by these algorithms, and you have a realistic chance of creating an audience over there without the need to be super experienced with video editing. You have everything you need in the apps, so definitely check that out. Think about how you can create video content, because people are getting more and more used to video content. So make sure you are out there either by yourself or by somebody representing you, like for example an influencer who talks about your business or your product. That being said, if you want to dive deeper into this topic, you can Google the keyword bullseye framework. That will help you make the right decision when it comes to choosing which social media platform to be on in 2021. If you liked this video and if it was helpful to you, make sure to follow us on social media and head over to neonacademy.io and check out our free online marketing fundamentals course. Bye guys, and I hope to see you on the platform.